Hello everyone and welcome to Let's Play Final Fantasy VIII. 'Tis I, Get Daved. Let's hop right in and I'll give you a bit of my overview over top of a beautiful song that I'm gonna wreck. Take that, YouTube copyright ID. The song is called Liberi Fatale if you want to check it out. It's a spectacular opening cutscene. So, they're opening singing the words Phthos, Luzek, Wikos, Vinosek, which you will hear a lot. There's a lot of Latin stuff in the game, actually. It's a Nomura thing, if you're familiar with him. Except Phthos, Luzek, Wikos, Vinosek aren't any words in Latin. It's just a Latin-sounding anagram of succession of witches mixed up with the word love. Thought I heard a skip there. Anyway, that'll make some sense later, as will the cryptic dialogue we're seeing right now. It is taken out of context, but it's a pretty cool little scene, actually. Just introducing our characters. That's Renoa. We're going to meet two more. And this is my favorite shot in the entire opening. The game's a lot more stylized than maybe any other in the series, except maybe 13. But definitely more than 7, which is this is the immediate successor to. In particular, 7's cutscenes usually didn't feature a lot of people moving. There were often big events going on, but most of the movements were actually pretty primitive from people. Just, you know, ripping something off of a wall or something like that. So this pretty much blew my mind the first time I saw it. I think they did a really good job capturing, I don't know, a bit more of the visceral side of two guys genuinely trying to hurt each other. They're on the same side? They just can't stand each other. That's Cypher in the white. And Squall, our hero, in the black. Get ready to watch very closely. It's only like 2 frames. But you can see Cypher pull the trigger and the hammer fall on the gunblade. It's kind of unclear how they work. They're part gun, part blade. Doesn't look like they shoot bullets, I don't know. Welcome to the game, everyone. It also opens with one of my favorite opening dialogue choices of all time. Squall has an interesting tension between brutal honesty and never saying or doing what he actually thinks. We'll go this way. Had a little chunk taken out of it. Meet Squall Leonhardt, everyone. I consider it evil to change their name, so we're keeping it as Squall. If you played Kingdom Hearts, but not this, this is Leon. Oh, you can't. We'll get to know Cypher quite a bit, but he can kind of get under everyone's skin. Except Squall kind of keeps his cool, and that gets under Cypher's skin. And thus, Cypher fights with everyone. That's not the person who was just summoned by the doctor. That's mysterious woman. Less of a big deal than you might think. Right, meet our instructor. There's some controversy over how to say her name, but I'm going to call her Quistis. We can argue in the comments section if you want. It was kind of both. Squall gave as good as he got. Today's the big day. Squall actually has a really big day ahead of him. He has the field exam, and he has to pass a prerequisite exam as well. Squall's kind of got a reputation for being emo or whatever. I think that's a bit misleading, but we'll get there. He's an introvert. And 17. You can't understand me. Nice little emulation glitch there. This is Balam Garden, a child soldiering organization for the good of the world? Actually, I think they're just in it for money. We'll learn more about the organization as time goes by. It's actually a lot more insidious sounding than I remember it as a kid. It's like, it's cool, they're all learning how to fight in wars for money, taken as children. In retrospect, this entire premise is really messed up. Our goal is to become a seed. That's the graduated form of this. Like, don't get your head cut open, for example. I'm sure he will. Alright, I guess we should talk to her. This console, you can look up tutorials and other things on it. And by other things, I mean some of the most important information in the entire game. It's not on there yet, but I'm not kidding. This classroom terminal is really important. We'll get to that though. That's the prerequisite for the exam. So he trained in the morning, was gonna do the fire cave the day of the exam, and then write the exam. That's just bad time management, Squall. Yeah, from your seat. Around this time, games started introducing like the color-coded, these are the treppies. They're in love with the instructor. She's only 2 years older than Squall. I had that happen to me once. In high school, I had a student teacher, Stacy. She was 20. I can confirm that is exactly what would happen. Yeah, we kind of crashed into each other. Meet Selfie, everyone. It wasn't a word at the time. This is back from when cell phones were actually really, like, nerdy and uncool. Yeah, there's 3 gardens in the world. She just transferred from a different one. Also her, oh, hey, hey. Yeah, we'll be nice. There's something behind it, but we'll get to that later. Anyway, yeah, video games started having like special text in different colors, like Ocarina of Time was really big on it. You're lying, but don't worry about it. You're lying again. Yeah, there's a card game. It's like the big mini game. You're lying a third time. This guy is secretly one of the best card players in the garden. I probably am not going to do that quest, but just so you know. It's a card game called Triple Triad. Played in a tic-tac-toe style grid. We'll check it out later. But I need to get a good card first. I do kind of wish I went to school here. So we're going to learn the layout of the garden. Circular shape, but there's sort of 8 prongs, and we can check out all these places. You'll note we started in the infirmary. That's where his room is. We are right by the town Belong, so each of the gardens is named after the region it's in. So Selfie came from Trabia Garden, which is far north. She's from Canada. Yeah, hot dogs. King of foods? Just thinking to himself. No. Of course he doesn't. Dr. Katawaki. Just rolls off the tongue. Yeah, a good place to go at night. Why, Sid? And now you've got the layout of the garden, everyone. If you get lost, you can perform a really efficient left wall hug, or right wall, depending on which way you go. Alright, to the front gate, everyone. This is also a save point. Allow me to do something quickly. Where are we here? There we go. Walk, cancel, talk, yep. There we go. They start with a non-standard control scheme. It's a bit more common in Japan, but I don't care for it. I really like when triangle opens the menu. So the game was considered a little bit controversial for some of its mechanics. We'll talk about drawing magic very shortly, once we do our first fight. I have a little plan for what I want to accomplish in this first video. No one can draw. We'll come back in 1 minute. We actually might have a mandatory tutorial. This is our instructor again. She is wearing kind of a weird form of pants. Your GF didn't stand for girlfriend at the time. It's a guardian force. This is my girlfriend, Quetzalcoatl, Aztec god of thunder. And Shiva, a deity. Like, kind of weird that they turned Shiva into a blizzard princess, but anyway. So, they're going to use the term junctioning a lot in this game. I'm just gonna try to button mash through this tutorial. We don't need to worry about it. You got me! So, you can attach or junction a Guardian Force to a person, and that's where basically they get all of their abilities. So it's sort of filling a role similar to Materia from FF7. You might think, hey, this sounds kind of comparable to Espers from FF6 if you played that one, but they do a lot more. So you only have attack. I don't even know if you have item without a Guardian Force equipped. Once you have Guardian Force, you get access to like all these abilities they can imbue you with, like magic and draw an item. You can also summon them, which is the GF command that summons, you know, whatever Guardian Force you have equipped, or one of them anyway. Draw is a way of extracting magic from the environment or from enemies, which sounds really cool, except characters don't have MP, like many games where there's like, you know, expensive spells or powerful spells draw a lot of magic points. You know, weaker ones don't draw as much, and you have a pool, and then you have to manage it and, you know, restore it using items or so on. There isn't that. You stock a number of casts. So I could draw like 9 fires, and now I have 9 fire spells. The problem is you basically always want 100 of everything because you can boost your stats by attaching different spells to your categories. Well, yeah, I got a junction up here. We could, in theory, boost Squall's magic stat. Alright, usually... Actually, we'll do it this way. And did he have magic? No, that was hypothetical. Okay. And we'll leave Shiva on Quistis for a bit. I'm just gonna run back and use the draw point. Hey, man! Which instructors suck? Alright, that's pretty much the most important spell in the game, folks. Now we could junction those, but I'm not going to bother for a little bit. Alright. I didn't bother. I could have junctioned her before, but I didn't bother. Alright. We could junction some magic, again, to like boost her spirit, which is magic defense secretly, but don't worry about it. And eventually I'll get the old muscle memory back and remember how to do stuff. At a distance, the 3D models look a lot better anyway. Welcome to the overworld, everyone. I want a map. There we go. I'm used to the right analog stick controlling camera angles and so on. Alright, welcome to our first fight. I'm gonna leave most of them in, but we're gonna very quickly get... Draw magic! Oh yeah, we have a gunblade so we can pull the trigger on the controller and do more damage. So I can't see the UI. This could be a concern. Alright, that's how we use the gunblade. That bang you heard was a crit. His crits only do half more, but he can get them. So I'm trying to draw spells here. Game, I need a UI. This is an unforeseen difficulty. We might need a hard edit soon. You can try drawing something too. So I know draw is at the bottom of my menu stack. This is like how you get magic. You get access to all of the elemental ones pretty easily. We could just run away, that's an option. Can't I? And we'll figure that out later. So yeah, Squall actually has lower attack power than Quistis, but he's critting every time. Oh, that could be a problem. recoils in a dead state. Alright, he's got maybe one hit left in him. This is like the biggest encounter you can get at this stage of the game. There we go. Good riddance to all of you. We could have killed them all easily with a summon, but we'll get there. There is a case to be made that you don't actually want to level up. A lot of people will say like, hey, you get weaker if you level up. I think that's a bit of an overstatement, but enemies do have different levels in this game, and in some areas they scale with your characters, although in many they're just sort of set to constants or random. Both are pretty common. Okay. We can set the ability we want our GFs to learn. Boost is pretty good. I'm not going to worry about it on old Quetzy. It would be nice to get probably HP. Some people are really into refining magic from cards as well. I'm not going to talk about that too much right now. I generally don't. You can do pretty well for yourself if you do, though. We're going to give her boost. It'll come in handy. And you know what? We'll throw in one more fight. Just to have a little bit more fun. Actually, no, I'm going to check one detail. So what I really want is to have the scan magic, or it's later called Libra in subsequent games. So they come from those bugs that we were fighting. So we'll hope to encounter some. Alright, with no UI, we're gonna do this. There we go. And I'm just gonna show a summon, because why not? We'll have Squall do it. Wait, it'll be this one. So what happens is, you can't see it. So this has gauges in the bottom right that fill, and when it gets full, your character can take an action. When you summon, a different gauge has to fill. So your character gets locked until it fills. And they don't take damage anymore, the Guardian Force does. So the GF can actually tank some damage for you. It only occupies a pretty narrow window. And then you get a really strong summon. So they're pretty overpowered early in the game. Later on, we'll be able to do far better with our characters if we junction properly. Because again, all those magic spells we're drawing, we can use to boost our stats. Or create a UI. Honestly, I could go for that first. Alright, this isn't quite as much as I was hoping to get down in this first episode, but you know what, we're gonna power through, because I'm a little proud of myself for figuring that out with no UI. In the next episode, the Fire Cavern. I'll see you there.